Welcome to Zeke Marshall. Zeke Marshall here. Today I'm going to be discussing parents and their roles into their children's lives when it comes to sports. This video has been something that I've been thinking about for a long time, and something I've seen over the years as me being in college and in a big college and including professional. Most parents don't understand the weight of how they can affect the development of their children. And I hate to say that most parents negatively affect their children's development. What most people say is that, oh, I have to defend my child, and yes, my child's better, and I have to fight for my child to get playing time. I gotta fight for my child to get seen because the coach is doing something that they don't agree with, etc. What ends up happening is that the parents is the one that's exceeding the confidence to the coaches. What ends up happening when you do that is then your child magnifies that confidence that you are giving out. So you might think that your kid's the best thing walking on earth, and then essentially you get your kid to believe he's the best thing walking on earth. Now, inherently, that's not a bad thing, but when it's coming from your confidence in your child rather than or his or her confidence in themselves, that's when big issues arise. Parents have to be very careful overstepping their boundaries. Too many parents think that they know best and they know how things should be done, and they just understand how everything works, and they're emotional because that's their children, and I get that. But long term, you're hindering the development of your children that way. The goal, if you want them, the first matter is you need to figure out what your kid even is looking for. Is your kid looking to just have fun? That could be something completely different. Some kids are just trying to play sports to have fun and meet people, and that's fine. And then you approach it that way. If your kid is also if your kid's other goal is, I want to get some playing time. Okay, this is how you have to approach it. If you're trying to get into the starting lineup, this is how you approach it. If they're trying to get scholarships or make their high school team, this is how you approach it. Each level has a certain level of drive that you need to have to get that. It just goes up on levels and how difficult it's going to get. So that's how you need to approach it. But as you get in that higher level, it's more that you have to control yourselves as a parent and allow your child to go through the trial and errors that he is going to have to be able to go through if he wants to meet these goals that he has. Too many parents coddle their children. I mean, I've had a number of talks where I would talk up to kids about, how it's like to be a professional and how it's like to be, at the time while I was playing in college. I mean, I've got 4 rings, like a successful basketball player. And a few of these parents just feel like they know best and, they know what's best for their children. And I'll be honest, most of the time, you don't when it comes to sports. You don't. You don't know anything. All you really know is how to defend your child when injustices, when things aren't going well, or if there is a legitimate threat to him being successful, like a coach doesn't like that child for some reason. And yes, that's something you should defend. However, that's not the one all and be all. If that child's goal is to be in college, you're going to get that regardless. You're going to get people who are not going to like you. You're going to get people who are going to be trying to hold you back. And it's up to them to figure out the tools to persevere through that if they want to survive in this world. It really ramps up in college, but it starts in high school. Once high school, high-level AAU in basketball terms, high-level AAU teams, it happens there all the time. Mid to high-level high school teams, it happens there. And it just goes up exponentially as you get up the ranks, college and professional. If your child is truly better than the players that they're playing against, truly better. I'm not saying what you think might be better. I mean truly better through overall, just better than the other players. And that coach isn't playing them in those levels, they're losing their job. Because if they end up losing and they had an option over here that they could actually play better, they'll lose their job. I've watched it happen in professional sports. They had some grudges, and sure enough, lost a job next year because he had these grudges because the coach I was dealing with had this ego. And sure enough, he lost his job. Parents, you need to allow your child to go through the trials that is going to be required if they want to better themselves into their own sport. The goal of your child, the goal you should be doing as a parent is to give your child the tools to build their confidence themselves. That's where true greatness comes from. That's where that confidence, that what Kobe has, that no one can stop me. I'm shooting this shot because no one else is going to tell me otherwise. And then he scores a shot because he has an unyielding confidence, an unyielding drive to be successful. And he has spent thousands and thousands of hours perfecting his craft just so he can have that confidence. And that confidence that's bred through thousands and thousands of hours of training, that's a confidence that your child needs. Not saying, no, that's in the extreme levels. But in high school, same thing. In high school, it's, oh, I'm going to work on my shot 2 hours a day, every day for a month straight. And then after, or 3 months straight, or 5, or the whole season. And after a while, he becomes such a good shooter. He's the best shooter on his team. And his confidence says to himself, I am the best shooter on the team because I am scoring the most, because I'm being successful the most in practice and in the times I get in the game. And then he'll get so good that the coach has no choice but to put him in. When he's truly better than the other players, he has no choice, especially if he's getting paid. He has no other choice but to put that child in, because he'll lose his job if he ends up losing because of it. You guys are critical, and I just watch you guys destroy opportunities for your own children, not even realizing. What makes it hard, which is why I'm making this video, what makes it hurt the most is it's not you guys that pay for it. It's not the parents. And I'm saying you guys because I'm not a parent. But I'm saying you guys as parents, you guys don't pay for it. It's your children that pay for it. It's your children who don't have the opportunity, who don't have the tools. So when they get to high school and they get to college, they get to these places and they are trowed. They are hit by reality. The reality of you need to win these games. And if you don't have, and if you don't bring something to the table, you're just going to sit out and no one's going to care. And you can argue and cry all you want as a parent or a player. You won't find success and you'll end up quitting. And then the most parents will say, well, don't worry about it, we'll go somewhere else. And you find the same problems there. While the whole time your child's believing in your guidance. That's the problem. Because I don't want to call it brainwashed, but they're almost brainwashed by your false confidence of not understanding what's going on in sports, especially if you haven't done sports before. That's why most parents who played sports usually take a hands-off approach because they understand it. But the parents who don't, you actively inhibit your development of your children. And if you have any aspirations of college, professional, I mean, even high school, starting lab in high school, we're gonna hit these adversities that's going to show up. Always. They're always gonna come. If you don't have the tools for it, you're gonna quit. And for no fault no fault from them, because you enable their bad behavior and their bad habits. Now it's over. Now instead of fighting it out and pushing through when things are tough, you're gonna quit because things aren't going your way. And I know a number of players who that's happened to, who've quit because, oh, I'm not getting playing time. Well, I'm done. It just gives up, which is why he's not in the NBA right now. This video is, I don't want to just straight up criticize. This video is more to point out how important your role as a parent is. Sports gives you so many skills that you can work outside of sports that even if you don't get anything else like that, you owe it to your children to allow them to develop those skills for them to be in the best position to be successful as they get older and get out into this real world where no one cares how you fail because they don't like you, they're not getting you a job. They don't care. Well, you're still stuck out and they have their job. You need to be able to find the skills that says, you know what, I got you. I'm gonna work harder than you anyway, or I'm gonna build it myself, or I'm gonna go do something. You'll have the drive to keep pushing past those walls. You'll be dealing with walls for the rest of your life. Barriers, people who want to hold you back, especially when you start becoming successful. You're going to find a lot of people who are going to want to hold you back. Black, white, doesn't matter what skin color you are, what ethnicity you are, what economic, doesn't matter where you're at. People who have means are going to be envied by people who don't. And if you don't have the skills to handle that pull, then you just won't be successful. You'll be held back like everyone else. You'll be held back and they're going to keep you down there with them and you'll all be miserable together. It's happened. I mean, I ain't gonna say I've been there, but it's happened to me. People have constantly dragged me back. And I'm still pushing on to make sure that I'm successful in things I want to be successful in. that's a little bit more heavier video, but this is the video that I think needs to be said to some parents, because some parents are just unbelievable. Most parents only think of themselves. They don't think of their children. You don't think of the effect it's going to have on your children. You're so used to taking all the glory for yourself. You see it all the time in dance moms. It's all about the mothers. It's not about their children. It's about them getting the fan, them getting the looks. That destroys children. And they get older and they realize that they were taken advantage of, basically. And you parents, you owe it to your children to put them in the best position to be successful and not use them for your own gains. Because that could destroy the one thing you're basically right. That can destroy the one thing that you're riding on, the opportunity. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative, because this, like I said, this message needs to get out. People need to understand this. And hopefully once it gets out there and people start putting their child first in their development, while making sure that nothing gets too deep, too far ahead of really being taken advantage of, allow that kid to go through that adversity. Allow them to find it within themselves to push past all the issues that the world's going to throw at them. And if they can persevere through that, they will have the skills to survive in a professional setting. As in professional athletes, not in just professional athletes, but in professional setting in anything they do. But more particular in college professional, because you're going to need it. If you don't have it, you're going to fail. I'm letting you know right now, you're going to fail. There's going to be times when things aren't going to work out and you'll quit. And I've watched a lot of players do that. Have a great day. More videos coming up. And like and subscribe, please. And hit the notification bell. Share this video for other moms and parents, moms and dads who need to see this. And Control-Alt-Delete, guys.